On the Canary Islands, otherwise known as the Fortunate Isles, you will see active volcanoes, feel rock formations in beautiful colors warm of magma, take advantage of the fantastic weather, and finally spend a great time here. See what else is waiting for you in the Canary Islands. The Canary Islands are relatively young. They emerged from the Atlantic about 20 million years ago and are the same age as the Alps, the African Atlas Mountains or the Tatra Mountains. Most likely, the cause of their formation was the collision of two tectonic plates, that is the Atlantic Plate and the African Block. This caused the eruption of initially underwater volcanoes, which later formed today's Canary Islands. The islands are still volcanically active, which has a huge impact on their look and landform. The archipelago consists of 7 large islands and 6 small ones. The largest is Tenerife, which has over 2,000 square kilometers. The other large islands are Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, La Palma, La Gomera and El Hierro. The Canary Islands have been known for a long time. In ancient times, the Greeks and the Romans visited them and called them the Fortunate Isles. Then, the Canaries had been forgotten for a long time and only in the 14th century they were rediscovered. The local Guanche people were almost completely exterminated during the Genoese, French, Castilian and Portuguese conquests. Initially, the islands were ruled by the magnates. However, in 1477, the King and Queen of Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella, bought the right to the islands. The royal era began, which, however, turned out to be deadly for the indigenous people. The 17th and 18th centuries were very difficult for the archipelago. The economic crisis made many people emigrate to Central and South America. The largest islands competed with each other. When Santa Cruz in Tenerife became the capital of the province, the authorities of Gran Canaria were very dissatisfied and did everything to strengthen its position. After more than 100 years, the administrative division was changed into 2 independent provinces. From 1936, the islands, like the entire Spain, were engulfed in a civil war, and later the dictatorship of General Franco. In 1982, the islands were established as the autonomous community of the Canary Islands. The seats of local authorities are shared between Santa Cruz de Tenerife and Las Palmas in Gran Canaria. Many people believe that the name of the islands comes from small, beautifully singing birds, that is canaries. Indeed, canaries live in the wild in the Canary Islands. What's more, it's an endemic species, which means they do not occur wild in other regions of the world. You can often hear canaries singing in cultivated fields or in pine forests. However, it is not the canary that gives the name of the archipelago, but the dog. In Natural History, Pliny the Elder described that there are a lot of wild dogs on the islands, and the Latin word for dog is canis. That is why the islands were named after herds of wild dogs, so the name of the bird comes from the islands, and not the other way round. The inhabitants of the archipelago are the Canarians. The Canary Islands are also famous for their good weather, and it is not just a slogan to attract tourists. It has an oceanic subtropical climate. The temperatures are moderate and the rainfall is relatively rare. The most rainfall is at high altitudes. High temperatures brought from nearby Africa are greatly moderated by cooler air from the ocean. Average temperatures are really pleasant, 18 degrees in winter and 24 degrees in summer. Even on the warmest islands, the temperature usually does not exceed 30 degrees. As there are a lot of sunny days, you can sunbathe all year round. You also need to know that the climate of the individual islands of the archipelago is different. The islands located in the west are cooler and have more rainfall than those in the east. You don't have to take notes. We have included all the practical info in the description below the video. That's where you can also find links with accommodation, tickets to attractions and tips on how to pay abroad so as not to overpay on currency conversions. Where to start exploring the Canary Islands? To begin with, take a look at Tenerife, the largest island of the archipelago. It is an extremely diverse place that some call a continent in miniature. You will find here both architectural monuments, natural wonders, as well as entertainment places and beaches. The capital of the island is Santa Cruz, which is a must-see. charming streets with palm trees, Plaza de España with an artificial lake and a fountain, San Juan Bautista Castle or the ruins of San Cristobal Castle are just some examples of interesting places. If you like modern architecture, you can't miss the Auditorio de Tenerife, a modern concert hall that resembles the Sydney Opera House. Stunning Playa de las Tresidas is also located in Santa Cruz. What you need to know, however, is that its golden sand comes from the Sahara and has been artificially deposited there. From the capital of the island you can take a tram to San Cristobal de la Laguna. This extraordinary town is included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Visit the old town here, and you'll understand why. It practically has not changed since the 16th century. The mansions and other magnificent buildings, including the island's oldest church, still impress. It is also worth visiting Garachico, a town that was almost completely destroyed by a volcanic eruption in the 18th century. Not much have been preserved, but it's worth visiting Castillo de San Miguel Castle, from which there is a wonderful view of the ocean. You will also see how the lava has enlarged the island and interesting El Caladan pools, which were formed thanks to the lava that created a barrier separating these pools from the Atlantic. What else is worth seeing in Tenerife? Be sure to take a trip to the active volcano, Pico de Teide, which is 3,718 meters above sea level high and is also the highest mountain in Spain. But in fact, this mountain stretches from the depths of the ocean and is over 7,000 meters high. Another interesting place is the Masca Gorge and the Parque Rural de Teno Reserve. Cliffs, wild bays, gorges and forests are the ecological enclave of the island. Here you can see the dragon tree, a species of local Dracaena, which is the symbol of the island. While on holiday you must also visit Siam Park, which may not be the cheapest, but certainly Europe's largest theme water park. The nearby Jungle Park, a zoo with many interesting animals, is also interesting. Gran Canaria is the third largest island and probably the most popular holiday destination of the Canaries. This is due, among others, to a large number of beautiful beaches, with Las Canteras at the forefront. This dream beach is located in the capital of the island, Las Palmas. If you go there, take a mask and a snorkel with you. The coastal waters are full of interesting creatures. It is also a paradise for water sports lovers. If you like sightseeing and discovering interesting places, then Gran Canaria is perfect for you. Interesting, old architecture in many cities and towns will surely delight everyone. The Cathedral of St. Anna in Las Palmas or the Valoran Monastery in Santa Maria de Guia are surely among the most captivating ones. The latter is also called the Monastery of Caves. There are over 300 caves here, and its history dates back to the Stone Age. It is worth to explore the island by car to see charming villages, white towns and beautiful nature. A visit to the Painted Grotto in Golda will take you back to the times of the Guanches, original inhabitants of the Canary Islands. Apart from a museum, you will also find reconstructed houses there. Take a drive along the old mountain road from La Aldea de San Nicolas to Agate. It can be briefly described as a combination of beautiful views with a large dose of adrenaline. The road winds among the chasm, providing a lot of excitement. Stunning views also stretch from the Mirador del Pico de las Nieves, a viewpoint at almost 2,000 meters. Gorges, mountains, unique vegetation, and animals delight everyone who visits this place. Even if you are not going to sunbathe, you must visit the Golden Dunes in Gran Canaria. The desert and dune landscape along the ocean makes an amazing impression. Fuerteventura is the second largest, but also the oldest island of the archipelago. Although it is dominated by a desert and often volcanic landscape, many interesting plants, some of which are endemic, grow here. Tourists often call Fuerteventura the beach of the Canary Islands. Indeed, there are many attractive areas for sunbathing there. The most popular are Playa de Cofete, Corralejo, Sotavento, Morro Jabal and El Cotillo. Most often these are sandy beaches of golden color, although there are also beaches with black, volcanic sand. This golden sand is brought to the island by winds from the Sahara. In addition to sunbathing, all kinds of water sports and trips to neighboring islands are also popular. Hiking enthusiasts will also find something for themselves here. you can visit charming fishing villages, the Salt Museum in Las Salinas del Carmen, where you can see how salt was extracted from the water, or the Windmill Museum in Tiscamanita. Windmills and mills are very popular on the island. Because the island is really windy, some people derive its name from strong winds, because in Spanish fuerte means strong and viento is wind. Parque Natural Corralejo near the village of La Oliva in the northern part of the island is a place that resembles Sahara. A walk through the mighty sand dunes will give you an idea of how hard walking in the desert is. After that exercise, you can rest by the blue Atlantic. Fuerteventura also has attractions carefully hidden underground which are lava, volcanic caves. The most popular is Cueva del Llano, which is located in Villaverde. This approximately 1 million years old cave is the oldest on the islands. It is 650 meters long, but the last 200 meters are inaccessible to visitors because it has been buried by sediments. When visiting the Canary Islands, do not forget about 3 slightly smaller but truly unique islands. The first one is La Palma, which many people consider to be the most beautiful of the islands. Smiling inhabitants, mild climate and stunning nature best explain why the archipelago is also called the Fortunate Isles. Forests like from Jurassic Park, banana plantations, the highest peak of the island with 2,500 meters, which can be reached by car, lots of hiking and bike trails, national parks and many other attractions are a guarantee you won't be bored there. Another island is Lanzarote. This island has a completely different character. Although there is a lot of greenery, what you will see and experience in the first place there is the volcanic magic. Volcanoes still erupted 300 years ago in the territory of the Timon Fire National Park. Today you will see amazing rock formations in red, orange and yellow colors there. In some places, the rocks are still hot due to the magma that is close to the surface. You should also see volcanic caves, Llamas del Agua caves and Cueva de los Verdes, among others. Visit the cactus garden and vine plantations. Cultivation of the latter in Lanzarote is completely unusual, but white wine obtained is of really excellent quality. The last of the islands is La Gomera, a place where time has stopped. Be sure to stop at least a few of the 40 viewpoints. From some of them you can see the neighboring islands of the archipelago. The island looks unusual because there are a lot of terraced cultivation. There are also beautiful beaches. The real magic, however, is the virgin forest. Laurel trees, heather, murica, and many other amazing plants, all immersed in fog or horizontal rain. Such laurel forests were common in Europe in the Tertiary, but survived only here. You will surely also meet many interesting animals that can only be found in these forests. The easiest and fastest way to get to the Canary Islands is by plane. The planes land in Tenerife, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, Fuerteventura and La Palma. You can also choose the land-water route. This version of the journey, however, is much longer because you first have to reach one of the Spanish ports from which ferries reach the islands. There are also special cruises to the Canary Islands combined with island tours. When is the best time to visit this interesting archipelago? You can do it all year round, but remember that from July to September there are strong sirocco winds, which often bring sand and dust from the Sahara. They are most troublesome on the islands in the east. Except that, the weather always favors leisure and sightseeing. If you're already planning your trip, you can find accommodation and tickets to attractions on the spot in the links under the video description. You can also order a card for cheap payments abroad the same way. Press the bell and subscribe to our channel if you want to receive notifications about new episodes. Have a nice trip.